Hello, talking about tithing, we are going to be looking at principles of tithing, what happens when you don't pay your tithe and when you pay less of your tithe. Now, a tithe is 10% of your profits or your gain. In other words, your profit divided into 10 places, 1/10 of it is unto the Lord. Now, the Bible says that in Deuteronomy 14:22, thou shalt truly tithe all of thy increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year. Now, take note of that word, truly. We are laying emphasis on the word truly, all increase. Now, we discovered that some people pay less of their tithe. Your tithe is supposed to be 10%, and at the end of the day, you are paying 5% or anything less than 10%. What is the reason why people do that? I feel that the reason why one will pay less than what is expected or what the Lord has commanded is due to the lack of the genuine fear of God. You see, when we say the fear of God is not just about not committing adultery or not killing, not committing fornication, but in honesty and loyalty to every of God's instruction without compromise of any sort. Now, that Bible passage says that thou shalt truly means honestly, doing it sincerely, and that sincerity is paying nothing less than the 10% that the Lord requires. Nothing less than 10%, not 9.9% of your tithe. If your profit is 10,000, your tithe is 1,000 naira. And now says all. That means all business that you venture into, all dealings, all business transaction, whatever fetches you profit or reward, you must pay 1/10 of it unto the Lord. Of all that increase. The word increase means anything that multiplies profit unto you. So long as you are making a profit and you're not incurring a loss, you are expected to bring 1/10 part of it. So if you venture into a lot of businesses, on each of those things that fetches you profit, you are expected to pay your tithe, and not just on one, not holding back a part of it. Verse 23 of that Deuteronomy 14:22 says that, it then says, so that you may learn to fear God always. Always. You may learn, emphasis on learn, fear God always. Now, how does paying your tithe amount to the fear of God always? Let's look at this illustration. Now, let's say this is the month of August. You make a profit of 10,000 naira. Your tithe is 1,000 naira, right? And you pay the tithe of 1,000 naira. By the end of August, God blesses you more and you make a profit of, say, 100,000. Remember, you made the profit of 10,000 last month. Now you make a profit of 100,000. Your tithe from 100,000 is supposed to be 10,000 naira, right? Yes. Now, you now discover that in that 100,000, instead of you paying 10,000 naira, which is now your profit, you now paid 5,000 naira. You are withholding a part of it. Now, going further, at the end of that month, instead of you to make more, you are now making, say, 50,000 naira. Remember, what you made last was 100,000 naira. Now you make 50,000 naira because you paid less of your tithe. Now, if you take a personal observation of yourself, you discover that the time that you actually paid your tithe in whole, you made more money, right? You made more profit. But when you decide to hold back a part of your tithe, your profit reduced. Now, wisdom will tell you that it pays to pay in whole, that is to honestly, sincerely tithe all of that increase instead of holding back a part of it. Now, that is a learning. By that, you will learn that it is good for you to always pay according to the instruction of God, which is nothing less than 10%. Now, you have learned to fear God, because the fear of God is keeping God's instruction. And that will lead you to conclude in your heart that henceforth I will no longer be told my tithe. I will pay all of my tithe because I want to make more, right? That's it. So now, what now happens if you pay less of your tithe? Okay, from the illustration that we gave earlier on, if your tithe is 5,000 naira, and God is to multiply, let's say God is to multiply in tenfold whatever you pay as tithe. Now, if God was to pay in tenfold whatever our tithe is, now let's say my tithe for this month is 5,000 naira. If I'm supposed to pay my tithe, it will be 500 naira, right? Because 500 times 10 is 5,000 naira. Now, if God is to multiply my tithe or to reward me based on my tithe is 500 naira. If he multiplies 500 naira by 10, it's going to reward me by 5,000 naira, right? Now, if I now choose to take back a part of my tithe, instead of me to pay 500 naira, I pay 250. Yes. Now, that's 250, which is my tithe. God is paying back in tenfold. 250 times 10 is 2,500. So instead of me to have made 5,000 naira profit, I am now making 2,500 naira profits because I choose to hold back a part of my tithe because I didn't actually pay 500 naira as which is my actual tithe. Can you see? So that is now amounting to a decrease instead of an increase. However, when God is rewarding tithe, or when he's rewarding you by your tithe, he is not rewarding in tenfolds. Malachi 3:10 says, "Test me with this, if I will not open the windows of heaven," windows in quotes, "and I'll pour out blessings so much that there will be no room to contain it." So that's just, ironically, God is saying that by the time you pay your tithe according to my instruction, I will bless you beyond measures. I will bless you innumerably. Can you see? So when you actually pay your tithe, you get your full blessing according to the commandment of God. And when you take back a part of your tithe, each time you take back a part of your time, you are reducing your increase, your benefit, your reward from God. Yes, which you ought to get when you pay your tithe fully. Now, when you don't pay your tithe at all, what happens? The Bible says in the book of Joel chapter 2 verse 25, it says, and I will restore unto you the years that the locust has eaten, the cankerworm, the palmerworm, and the caterpillar, my great army which I sent among you. When you are not paying your tithe, these things, the spirit of devourer will come, and it can manifest in any form. Instead of you to be making profits in your ventures, in your business, you start having challenges that will cost you to to incur expenses. You will just be spending. It's either you are spending to mend things, you are spending to fix things in business, you are spending on health issues, and you are not getting any profits in return. You can even venture into a business at the end of the day. It's even better if you break even. You are incurring a loss. Things that will just be happening, that will be causing you to just be wasting money, be spending money instead of you to be making profits. You spend more. You spend to fix things. You spend to make sure things are okay. This is the expression of sending cankerworm or caterpillar in your midst, because you refuse to obey the commandment of tithing all of that increase. Because the tithe is a statutory order, is obligatory. Either you are a believer or not, you are expected to pay tithe, to pay the tithe of your increase. So when you are not paying the tithe, you'll be having challenges that will be causing you to be incurring losses. But when you are paying your tithe, God is going to multiply your increase. He's not paying you in tenfold. He's only expecting us to pay 1/10 of whatever you have made as profit or reward. But when He's rewarding you, He's rewarding you in multiple folds, innumerable ways. So test the Lord. Remember the key was all, not on one venture. In anything that you do that fetches you profit, your increase, you are expected to pay your tithe. And then truly, honestly, sincerely, sincerity is 10% and nothing less than 10%. Then always in whatever business or venture you do, make sure you are bringing the 10% of it, of your profits, and nothing less. That's from Deuteronomy 14:22. Thou shalt truly tithe all thy increase, the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year. So truly, that sincerity, honestly, paying 10% and not less. All in whatever you venture into that fetches you reward, profit, you must pay a 10% of it. That increase, so long as it's a profit unto you and not a loss, you have to pay your tithe. Test the Lord and see that the Lord is faithful to his words. Thank you for watching. See you in another video.